Oi Badan, and welcome to Ash and Chris's Mind Puddle. Why do you put your head in your hands every time I say hello to people?
What one was that in?
That was in Bosnian.
Bosnian.
It's brilliant, isn't it? That was hello in Bosnian. Welcome to Ash and Chris's Mind Puddle. This week we're talking about guilt, and we're going to be chatting about some guilty stories. We've had some messages from you guys. We'll be reading those out a little bit later on. Also, we've got Jack Burgess's 10-second opinion. People are loving this. People are loving the old 10-second opinion. And I've got something to talk to him about later, which I know he hates. So that'll be fantastic. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Yeah, diets. There's so many different diets, and that's the thing. This is what winds me up. You know, what I'm trying to do basically, just eat a bit less.
Yep.
Eat
Move
less
a bit
rubbish. Move a bit more. Do you know what I mean? Like substitute things. You know what I mean? Like don't have a packet of crisps. You know, have like a bit of fruit. Or like have better crisps, like Snacker Jacks or something like that. Something that's light. Do you know what I mean? Like less rubbish in it. Just sort of substitute little things. Small changes is what I'm trying to do, and then try and be a bit more active.
Yeah.
But there's like some people like they just like watching what you have, and then they're like, oh, you can't have that. And I'm just thinking, well,
at the end of the day, you can have whatever you want. Whether it's good for you or not is a matter of so many different opinions.
You got to have a balance, though, haven't you?
To some extent.
Bit of this, bit of that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just because before I've been excessive in eating rubbish.
Yeah.
You know, and you haven't got to be excessive in eating really good or anything like that. You just got to kind of like get a good balance, and like, especially for me, if I was to be excessive in eating really good, I wouldn't do it. I'd just be like, no, I ain't bothered. It'd make me want to stop doing it because I'd be like, oh, I miss having that too much. Do you know what I mean? If you have a little treat a week, you know what I mean, that's quite good. But
yeah, I think everyone's different. I think sometimes I struggle to see that everyone has a different opinion on things.
See, I remember once asking you about like eating food, and said if you could. I don't know who asked the question actually. I don't know if it was you or if it was me, but one of us said like if you could have, you know how dog food comes in a big mixer bag, like dry dog food.
Yeah, this is me.
Was it you?
Yeah.
And you said like if you could just eat that, like, and that was sustenance.
If it was just completely balanced,
completely balanced.
And like you could have different versions for what you were doing at the time.
Yeah. So you just eat that, and you said to me, "Would you do that and not eat?" I said, "No, I wouldn't, because I like eating food, like different types of food."
Which is fair enough. That's fine.
But yeah, I remember you saying you would do that.
Definitely.
You still to this day?
I hate eating. It does my head in.
Really?
Yeah.
You're really weird. I've never met anyone like you. You're very different. I was going to say.
Honestly, if someone gave me the option of having like a tube that went into my stomach,
and it just fed you,
and I could just fill my stomach up when I needed to with whatever I needed to fill it up with, I would do it.
You can, it's called food.
Yeah, but like without the chewing and stuff, because you think if you don't
is that what it is? You can't be bothered to chew?
It's not the can't be bothered to chew, it's like what you said. What's the best stuff for you is often the stuff you don't want to eat.
Yeah.
But if you can't taste it and you're just pouring it in, you can pour in the best food ever.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, what's the point of pouring in a Mars bar to a stomach if you can't taste it?
Oh, I love that. You sort of said that and then you gave me a cocky little look at the end and just say, go on, answer that one. Oh, I enjoyed that little look. Yeah, I see what you're saying, but it's like, food isn't just about... Food hasn't become just about sustenance. It's about... You know, people make a career out of food now, you know what I mean? Like, look at all these TV chefs you've got. You know, they've made a career out of, like, great tasting food. And obviously that's very much a sort of an evolutionary thing, I guess, because people aren't eating now because they have to. People are eating more than they should because they enjoy it.
Because they want to.
Because they want to.
But you see,
Because they want to. As Billy Piper once said. Was it Billy Piper?
I don't know.
Probably. Someone will correct me.
I just want to eat what I need, and I'm not bothered about what it tastes like.
Fair enough.
I think that's personal preference.
That is personal preference, and you were probably the only one in the world.
I mean,
with that
I do
preference.
season some things because, like you said, you can't get around the fact that you've got a mouth and you have to chew it. So if
Yeah.
it tastes nice and it's still good for you, then
Brilliant.
that's fine. Yeah.
Bonus.
In fact, there's probably a scientist out there that will tell me you couldn't just pour food in and stay satisfied.
Oh, I don't know.
But I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if the taste buds, as far as I'm concerned, taste buds are just there to tell you if it's poisonous or gone off.
It's like pain, isn't it? Like why we have pain, just there to let you know that something's like, if you've got your leg being crushed, you know your leg's being crushed.
Yeah,
It's alerting you. It's going, oh, your leg's being, you're in danger.
yeah. I think that's what taste buds were evolved for.
Pain is brilliant because I went to the dentist like about a week or two ago, and I got numbed. And do you remember we went out, didn't we, that day?
Yeah.
And I was just numb like all day, and it was horrible. And I was thinking, if someone smacked me, I wouldn't know about it. Like, and then like, my teeth could be hanging out, and I just wouldn't know, and it'd just be like horrible. It wouldn't be nice. I really wouldn't enjoy that. I think if I like went numb like down one side, I'd be panicked.
Okay, so today's topic that you asked the public for
Blimey,
is
I'm so unprepared for this. Yeah, go on. It's
is
guilt.
guilt. It is guilt. And I have one particular story about guilt on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go on there now. I don't know. Now, it hasn't said he didn't want to be named,
Who?
Crookie,
Oh yeah, Chris Crook.
but because he hasn't said he doesn't want to be named,
We've named him, we've done it.
I think we can
We've
name
done a
him.
name.
So, Chris Crook has said, regarding guilt, here's something for you to ponder on, to
What?
give your opinion on. When I was in my teens, I used to walk about 20 metres in front of my mum if we had to go shopping, because I didn't want people from school to see me with her.
Oh, that's horrible.
It didn't work. she, she just used to shout across the Swansgate at me.
Swansgate. Oh, I don't know how specific that is. That's awful. Have you ever done that?
I don't think I've ever walked in front of my mum or dad. I think
I don't think I have.
I can't remember going shopping with them, but I might have gone through that stage, but maybe just gone off on my own for a bit.
Why the Swansgate? What? Because I know that, like, where's the Swansgate's in Wellingborough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Chris wouldn't have known anybody in Wellingborough because he didn't grow up there.
Well, I mean,
So why, like?
just take it as general shopping. I imagine he did it general shopping anyway.
I've used a specific example that he's given, the Swansgate. I like the Swansgate. It used to have a big dragon in it, do you remember?
Yeah.
People are going to know what I'm talking about when I mention the big dragon in the Swansgate. It's now at the Green Dragon Garden, isn't it?
Is that the
I
same
went
one?
through that dragon about 3 years ago.
Yeah. You were a bit lighter than you are now.
Yeah. Yeah. Put some timber on.
But you still did it.
Did. It was brilliant. What else has Chris got for us?
He's also said that when I'll quote this so it's not about me. Also, when I was about 13, I punched a 9/10-year-old in the stomach because he kept touching my BMX.
Just touching it, wasn't even doing anything. Just kept like, touching his BMX, and he was like, "Right, that's it." Just punched him right in the stomach. I've got a story a bit similar to that. Like there was a guy, the guy at school. No, you'll remember him, but I'm not going to name him. His name was Stanley. Right, obviously I've changed the name to protect the innocent. So his name was Stanley, and so Stanley Woodhams, right?
Yep.
There's this guy. He was quite notorious, like a bit of a hard man at school, but he really reminded me of Phil Mitchell,
Okay.
right? And I don't know why, he always just reminded me of Phil Mitchell. And I remember one time I was cycling. I was on my first BMX. I must have been about like 10, 11, and I saw him as I was cycling to my nan's house, and he was with like 3 or 4 of his friends, and they're all like older, they're all like bigger boys, and they stopped me on my BMX, and I was like standing on it like, all right, like sort of thing, and they're like, oh, that's a nice bike, you know what I mean? Like I had it up and I was thinking, oh no, what's happening? Oh no, they're going to rob me, they're robbing my bike, they're taking my bike off me. They're like, that's a nice bike. They're like, let's have a go on it, sort of thing. And I was like, no, please, no, come on. Like, immediately, like, I started, like, thinking, like, because I wasn't, like, a hard kid. I wasn't, like, yeah, you know what I mean, like, put them up, Queensbury rules and all that. I just sort of was like, no, please. And I looked at Stanley and I was like, Stanley, no, come on, tell him, you know me from school. Stanley, come on, tell him, you know me. And he just sort of, like I felt like Ian Beale, like, and he was, like, Phil Mitchell, and out of, like, he must have just felt really sorry for me, because he was just like, yeah, leave him alone, boys, like, sort of thing, and just, like, let me go. And I just remember, like, cycling off to my nan's crying. Pathetic.
But why is that about guilt?
That's just a story.
It's just a story about a BMX.
Yeah, I heard BMX and thought, I've got a story about BMX.
Something that haunted you.
Yeah, it still haunts me to this day.
So, what do we think about Crookie, though, in terms of his stories about guilt?
Oh.
I mean, I don't know if he's looking for forgiveness. I don't know if he's forgiven himself for that.
Forgived himself?
Yeah.
I don't know if I forgive myself. Yeah, I don't think he can forgive himself for that. I think that's pretty appalling. If you're 13, you're punching a 10-year-old in the stomach at 13. You know, that's a big age gap. Well, it's about that
It is
time.
at that age.
Yeah, it
It's
is at
not
that
now.
age. Not now, no.
But I mean, that doesn't hit home as much as
The mum one.
ignore. I think it's the walk in front of her.
I wonder if he still does it now.
Yeah, well,
He still just like wanders off from her, like, oh, mum, I don't want to be seen with you. Sort of wandering 20 paces ahead. Yeah, this story on guilt I've got basically probably about 5 or 6 years ago, when we were in sixth form, a friend of mine was looking for a job, and you know, he'd literally tried everywhere, and he was desperate for a job. He really, really wanted to get a job. Didn't care where it was at, but he'd specifically targeted like a local retailer that he wanted to work at. And he put an application form in for that, and I knew that. And we were out one day, like me and a few friends, and you know, when you're sort of like, I don't know, how old were we then? I was probably about 16, 17, you know, bit reckless, bit of a wild child, you know, making crank phone calls,
breaking hearts.
no, I didn't do like that. Yeah, so anyway, I decided that it'd be a good idea to ring him up and pretend to be this retailer. So basically, I rang him up, put on a woman's voice. I did quite well, actually. I was impressed myself to this day. And basically told him that he had an interview the next day at this retailer.
Yeah.
I said to him that he needed to wait at the front of the shop, and he'd be coming, like, somebody could be collected by somebody, you know, and to be there for 12 o'clock. And he fell for it, hook, line and sinker, completely fell for it. And after I'd hung up, I felt really guilty. I thought, I need to, like, ring him back now and tell him that was a joke. But all my mates were there egging me on, like, no, don't tell him, it'd be really funny, because we're all going to play football the next day at 12 o'clock, and we're all meeting outside this retail shop. This retail shop. So yeah, we all then go home and stuff. A friend of mine stays at mine, and all night I'm sort of laying there thinking, I need to text him, I need to ring him, you know, I need to tell him. I felt so bad about it. No, leave it. So I just left it. I thought, right, I'll leave it then. Fine. That convinced me.
Yeah.
So we turned up, all of us, the next day at 12 o'clock outside this shop. He was there, shirt, tie, trousers, shoes, really polished his shoes up, you know what I mean? Stood outside waiting there, and we like saw him, we're like, oh, alright mate, and he was like, alright, and we're like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I've got an interview. And we're like, ah, okay, we're like, need to tell you something, you haven't got an interview. And he's like, shut up. We're like, no, that was me that rang yesterday. And he's like, I don't believe you. No, shut up. And he'd even brought his passport with him.
Right.
That made me feel even worse. The
Yeah.
fact that he'd obviously like gone home, been really excited, like told his dad and rooted through all of his stuff for this passport. Like, yes, I've got a passport. Gone through all of that nervousness that you experienced before an interview the night before. You know, not really sleeping very well, and kind of having it on your mind and worrying about it. So there he is outside the shop. I'm telling him, no, that was me that rang you. You know, like, sorry. And he's just standing there, like, literally didn't believe me. And he didn't believe me for a good, like, 5 or 10 minutes. It took us for all to say, like, no, like, I rang yesterday, I said this, I told you to meet here, and all this sort of stuff. Then it twigged in his mind that, how would he know all this unless it wasn't him? And he thought, oh, no. And he was like, I'm really annoyed. He was like, oh, I'm really... But he didn't get angry or anything, you know what I mean? He could have took it really bad. All he said was like, I'm really annoyed about that. But I've still, to this day, felt pretty guilty about that. But I do enjoy it because I do think it was pretty funny. His dad was really annoyed as well. His dad was proper, like, upset about it. So, yeah, that's my story on guilt. Oh, yeah, I was thinking something the other day. And I said to a friend of mine, why do people wash their hands after going to the toilet?
Right.
Why?
Hygiene, I guess.
But, right, okay, this was my point. Your genitals are probably... You have a shower, right?
Yeah.
Immediately after the shower, you dry yourself, and then you put on your pants and your trousers and all that.
Yeah.
The only time your genitals, like, get to touch anything, like, generally in the day, is when you get them out to go to the loo.
Yeah.
Your hands have been touching loads of stuff throughout the day. Door handles, buttons, handling boxes, whatever. Do you know what I mean? You're touching loads of different things throughout the day. Your hands are covered in germs. Yet, then when you touch your genitals, surely you should wash your genitals after you've touched them with your hands. No? Am I wrong? Surely they're going to be quite clean. They've been tucked away all day. They've not seen, they've not seen the light of day.
You're speaking for yourself. What if someone hasn't showered for a long time?
Ugh. Then what are they doing out of the house?
But these people exist.
Oh yeah, it's bad. But those people probably don't wash their hands after going to the toilet either.
Exactly. So perhaps it's a good thing that you do.
Yeah.
But, I mean, do we wash our hands enough is probably a better question, because like you said, you touch a lot of things during the day. Surely, when you're in the toilet and you're next to a sink, washing them anyway isn't going to hurt.
No, absolutely not. But I just sort of think, well, your poor old genitals getting handled by your dirty old hands, and then having the cheek, having the barefaced gall to then wash your hands and then just leave you just leave that. That'll do. That'll put up with it. Like, will it? No, I think you should have some sort of like cock wash in the toilet. Just like do a little bit of that. That's my view on it.
Would you use it if that existed?
Yeah.
Would you though?
No. Yeah. I'd be all over it. And a right old scrub. No, but I just thought it was an interesting point. I was just thinking about it the other day. A friend of mine who I was in the toilet with at the time don't wash his hands.
I think
that's wrong.
I feel grubby if I don't wash my hands.
Yeah, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it at all. But and I made that point. And he went exactly. It's like he's been thinking about it for years, like waiting for somebody to say it.
Yeah.
Right, I think it's that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's time for Jack Davis's 10-second opinion.
Yes, it is.
What is his opinion going to be on this week?
Now, often I'll say to Jack, hindsight is a beautiful thing. And immediately he shoots me down with, it isn't. It's terrible. He hates it. So, I just want him to... you to experience like his anger towards it. I mean,
I guess for him to try and explain within 10 seconds what his opinion on it is.
I'm going to ring him now. I bet he better answer because I haven't sort of told him that I'm ringing him this week. But obviously he should know. He should know by now. Oh, this doesn't bode well. Where is he? What's he up to?
This is Jack. Sorry I can't take your call right now. If you leave a message, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you, bye.
That was very polite.
Leave your message after
For
the
him.
tone. To re-record your message,
He's not normally that polite, ever. Jack, where are you? You know exactly what time this is. Why are you not answering your phone? I'm going to call you back just forever until you answer. Bye. He texts me halfway through that. Oh, saying you missed a call from me. He's trying to ring me now.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
no, it's not Jack Burgess.
You don't ring me.
No, that's
I
not like
ring
that.
you, alright? Right, let's go again. Let's just keep ringing him endlessly.
This is Jack.
Oh, he's trying to ring me
he's
now.
trying to ring
I
you.
hate
Oh,
when
this is
happens.
the worst, isn't it?
You get into this little cycle of like... and then,
Who's
like,
going to hold off?
yeah, and then you leave it a few seconds, you think, right, they're trying to ring me, I'll leave it about 10, 20 seconds, and you think, I'll ring them back, and then they've done exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
You think, no, and it's just like becomes so annoying.
Everyone
Oh,
goes through this.
I hate this
Oh, wow.
little standoff that you get. I bet he's probably listening to that voicemail now, so I'm going to try ringing him now.
I bet he'll answer immediately. There it
Ooh,
is. We've got the ring.
the ring.
Hello?
Hello. Well, there you are. Where have you been?
I'm sorry, I don't base my life around this phone call every Sunday, do I?
Well, you should. You should know. You should know you've got things to look out for on every Sunday.
Right, okay.
Oh bloody hell! You're straight into it. I've got something I want your opinion on.
Okay.
Basically, Jack, I want to know what your opinion of hindsight is.
Everyone says that it's a wonderful thing. You know, I don't think it is, because all you do is you just end up cursing yourself saying, oh, how silly of me, I shouldn't have made that mistake.
And that's it. That was very
That was
impressive.
excellent.
That was brilliant. I'm really proud
He
of him
managed
this
to
week.
string an entire sentence together
Yeah,
within his time limit.
But I always enjoy it. He's like, yeah, like a didgeridoo.
There was a. He did think about it for a couple of seconds. He wasted a couple of seconds on, I
That
think.
was worth it. That was worth having that few seconds to have a little think.
That's his opinion. So it's not as good as everyone says it is.
See, I think it's a beautiful thing, but he hates it. He absolutely. I know.
I think I see both sides of the story, though. I
Right.
mean, I can see why. I can see why you're saying it's a good thing, because. Yeah,
You look back, you learn a lesson.
it depends if you learn from it. I think that's the biggest draw.
That's
I
like
mean,
anything, though, isn't it? Like if you touch a radiator that's like that you know is on and it's really hot, don't do it. And if you do it, don't do it again. And if you do it again, you're an idiot. Like that's what I draw from that.
Yeah, but I get what he's saying as well, because it's annoying when you think of a really good way out of a situation that you're in a lot
Yeah.
later on
Yeah,
that you just couldn't come up with there and then.
But again, that's something you can, you've got that in the bank then.
Yeah, for next time maybe.
It is always annoying. Like, what annoys me is if someone will say something and then you're like, about, when you can come back with a witty comeback
Yeah.
and a witty reaction, but you kind of leave it like 1 second too late and you think, oh, if I'd have done that, it'd have been brilliant. But
Yeah.
like, it's just 1 second too late. You think, no, I've lost it now. Like, and then if you try and do it, then you look like more of an idiot.
I think there's a sweet spot where you can get it in.
Yeah, there is. Yeah,
And then there's an awful spot where it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
But then it comes back round again, in my opinion, where it becomes funny because of how
how
late,
late
it
you
is.
come back. Yeah. Women are very good at that. Like, do you know what I mean? They'll just wait, and then they'll just say something really sharp and cut in, and you're like, that was good. That was brilliant. Okay, that was another episode of Ash and Chris's Mind Puddle. I hope you enjoyed listening to it. Slightly longer this week than it has been. So yeah, I mean, next week. Have we got a topic for next week? What do you fancy for next week, Chris?
You've really thrown me under the bus
I
here.
really haven't I? Die under that bus. Have you got any funny stories on jealousy?
On jealousy, I can probably think of some.
Yeah, we'll think of some for next time.
So is that what we're going for?
The theme is jealousy. I want to hear, I want to hear funny stories on jealousy for next week. So message us on Facebook, Ash and Chris's Mind Puddle. Also follow us on Twitter. You have to do that swirly at thing. I don't really know what it means. And then put Mind Puddle after that. Mind_puddle. Follow us on there.
So are we talking jealousy about anything?
Anything, any
Anything at
kind
all.
of jealousy.
Okay.
I remember that's more regret. That's more of a regret. Jealousy and regret for next week.
Jealousy and regret, and the
Yeah.
smile on Ash's face says,
He's regretting something.
"Yeah, there's probably something good to
Nah,
good
it's
to
not
come
that,
from
it's
that."
not
So
that good, but I'm going to tell it now because I'm like, I've got it right in my head. It's not
just like a prodder,
yeah,
so
it's not good. So don't raise your hopes.
something to prod the
I remember being
masses.
in year 6 and we had like it was called Roman Day. Do you remember Roman Day?
I think I do.
You remember Roman
I
Day?
think it's-
And there was those actors that came in.
Yes.
There was a guy and the woman, wasn't there?
I was a like one of those.
Just wear
monk-
chainmail.
No, I was like one of the monk type people.
Were you?
What were they called? The ones that like go to Stonehenge and that, and they're magic.
Weirdos.
No, what are they called? You carry on, I'll think of it.
Yeah. Basically, the teacher said to me,
A druid. I was a druid. I got
Really?
it. Yeah, threw it in there. Yep. I really wanted to be a knight so bad, and then I was a druid.
I got asked to be a knight, right? Which is like, they were like, because I was like a broad-shouldered
Yeah.
little kid, they were like, he can take the chainmail, do you know what I mean? And they were saying, oh, how would you like to be like a knight? And you have to sort of protect this woman that you're with. I don't know who she was, I don't know if she was pretending to be obviously like the queen or something. You got to protect her. It means you get to wear this chainmail all day. And I remember being all scared, thinking, I'm going to die. I literally thought like it meant that we were actually going to have a fight. It's like, idiot, I know. There's something else I did. And like, I know. So I thought, I've been being really scared, thinking, I went, no, I don't want to do that. And then obviously, then when I saw the other kid doing it, being one of the knights, wearing the chainmail, I was sort of looking at him thinking, I wish I'd have done that. Like, I really wanted to wear that chainmail. I was like, oh, that looks really cool. And like, I've always regretted it. Even to this day, I regret not wearing that chainmail. Really annoyed me. Never worn chainmail since.
So there you go.
My only opportunity.
If you've got a regret that does or doesn't involve chainmail,
Do you know what else happened as well?
there's more.
No, this is a different story.
Okay.
Do you know what else happened? Do you remember that flight simulator they put in the playground?
Maybe.
Oh, it was. I'm sure the old head teacher was there for it. They put this big flight simulator in the playground, and like we were getting on, and the old head teacher said for a laugh, like, "Oh, where are we flying to today then?" And I was getting on, thinking, "I'm really scared," because I actually thought it was going to take off or something. I was thinking, like, I don't understand the idea of a simulator. I don't know how old I was. I must have probably been about 8 or 9.
Yeah.
And I just remember being really scared, thinking, I've never flown before. And I was sitting on this little like pretend plane, and he was taking it all seriously, like messing about, obviously, which I didn't understand at 8. Him messing about, being like, "Oh, we'll be taking off in a minute," and I'm thinking, "What?" Like, sitting in this seat, like grabbing hold of it, like, "What?" Oh, I was so like naive, terrible.
So yeah, any regrets that that are on par with Ash's? I mean, they can be more serious than that if you want, but I personally enjoy the more light-hearted ones.
I really regret not going for that job.
Yeah.
Not really was boring. All right, okay.
Sorry if you do regret not going for a job.
I was going to go for it, but I only had second-class stamps in my wallet, so I just thought I won't bother. Yeah, so stories on jealousy and regret, please message us, that'd be great. It's been a lovely experience to be here with you all. Thanks for listening. See you next time.